almost there. I'm live. Yay. Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody. We are live.
Let's
wait.
1 second. Who's live now? Let me go on the home galleries and watch it from there. I'm sorry, guys. We're just getting
just calibrating a little bit.
Yeah.
Who we got? We got Julian already. Thank you, Julian, for the support. Dude in the beanie. What's up, man? We're getting on it. We're gonna hear it.
We're almost there. I don't see Good Influences live.
Maybe it's in my life. No. I mean, like, make sure I'm not on mine.
Oh, there it is.
No, that's not it. I'm just making sure you're not on.
Can I just? Okay.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Is it? You're in home gallery, I think.
Oh, nice. Cool. Shout out to Home Gallery. Go on to Echoed Influence and watch us on our live feed. Peace. How did it go on Home Gallery? Like, why am I on Home Gallery?
I don't know.
Did you touch this by any chance?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Maybe.
I didn't. Don't try to blame this on me. They're watching us.
Okay, we're live. Are we ready to go?
We're live for reals this time.
Are you
Hold
watching
on.
it? Good?
Is it playing outside?
Yeah, we got the thumbs
okay,
up.
Cool. All right.
Hey, everybody. We are live at the Collab Incorporated in Uptown Whittier at the Whittier Art Stroll. We are Echoed Influence, and we're here with our Season 2 premiere. And this week's theme is Metamorphosis. I am Anthony Spartacus Tamayo. I'm here as always with Modest Betty herself, April Rodriguez. I'd like to say that our podcast at this point has become like a metamorphosis and evolution in itself.
Yeah.
We have tried various ways of connecting with you guys and showing you different formats of our filming style, giving you little snippets of Baby Deadpool. Be sure to let us know how much you love that Baby Deadpool, and we'll continue to make some more snippets of him.
Yeah.
AB, would you mind telling all the fans what we've been up to?
Sure. So lately, you've obviously seen that we haven't been too on our episodes and stuff, but it's because with Home Gallery, our other baby, I guess, we've been doing a nonprofit application. So we've been coming up with a business plan and all that stuff with the help of the people here at the Collab Incorporated and Rose here at Collab. It's been so helpful to us.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes,
We're just
my gosh.
above and beyond. So grateful for you guys.
Yes, so thankful. So that's what I've been doing, is spending a lot of my time doing that. We also
that's a lot of work, guys. I mean, I know it's the stuff that you don't really see. It's like the behind the scenes stuff, but that's the one thing that matters. And before you know it, we're going to be doing big things, and we want you guys to be with us when we do that.
Yeah, grow with us, because what are we without you guys?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want it to be. Just you give us energy, we give it back, you know?
So we went to the Fullerton Art Walk too, but other than that, I mean, what have you been up to?
I've been playing a lot of Spider-Man, the video game. I will say that game is just so fun. It's amazing. Like, lots of people are comparing it for game of the year and stuff. And I'm pretty sure in its own way, I mean, it's a great game. I mean, I was comparing it to God of War, and it's like, it's a different animal altogether. Yeah. I can tell in God of War, the animation, the graphics were just, whoa, killer.
But in Spider-Man,
but Spider-Man it's a fantastic game. We'll get into that later. We've been taking the dogs to the dog park as often as we can.
Yeah. They love it so much.
You realize, like, dogs have these personalities where you just don't know either. Like, you know, like taking our dog, like Pop-Pop's, taking him is always, it's a like, ooh, like what's going to happen with him? Because dogs approach him and he's a very jealous dog. For God forbid we pet another dog. He gets
in front of him, especially.
Yeah, he gets very like, Rrr. And then also MMA training has been going really well. Just those guys are just incredible athletes, and I don't think they really knew it, you know? We also, what else have we been up to? Oh, I just wanted to say, if we get up to like 25 viewers, if I see 25 viewers, I'll let you guys know what happened to my eye. Okay. So I want to move on to some mutant news, something we haven't done in a while. Mutant news. We heard today that Henry Cavill might be exiting as Superman, and we heard it earlier today. And also, Ben Affleck was reported to leave as well. Last update I had on Henry Cavill was that his manager was in talks to getting some kind of contract going. From what I understand, it's Warner Brothers who let him go. They feel like they have time to introduce a different Superman. Or I'm not sure what their angle is.
I feel like they'd have to start over. It's always weird when they try to continue a series with a new actor as the main character. It feels weird. It doesn't
it kind of feels a little hostile.
Feels off, yeah. So I think if they do hire a new Superman, that they're gonna have to start over with that.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of things that they could do. I mean, like, do alternate universe things like they do in the comic books. There's different various Superman out there that you can use. Like I saw that Michael B. Jordan one, and I'm not laughing because he attempted to go out there and be Superman. Like he wanted to be Superman. It's just I'm not convinced that he's a Superman. Like I want a specific actor towards him. I mean, Idris Elba will be be before Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I feel like for me, Michael B. Jordan, he's kind of tainted with a little bit of
witty,
bad guy.
Yeah.
Just a little
as
bit.
Killmonger.
Yes, yeah. Not that he's not a great actor or anything, but he just doesn't have that same. I don't know. I think more like Chris Evans would be that like Superman type character. So
I really I don't know, but I don't mind a black Superman.
Yeah.
On top of that, like I actually embrace the idea. There's a alternate universe where Superman's Mexican, and it's awesome. Like, and in that same reality, Batman is a vampire, and it's really good. It's a really good story. Also, Daredevil season 3 teaser is out. Like, go ahead and get ready for that, guys. I mean,
do you think Punisher will be in it?
I hope so, but I don't know. Like,
Well,
I'm not that lucky. I don't think.
To get that much Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher. Technically, season 1 Punisher was Daredevil season 2. And I watched that back and forth. I still watch it now. Show my nephew and everything. And Daredevil's cool with it.
Yeah, he's happy.
And then I would like to, means that we're talking about metamorphosis, evolution, and everything. I wanted to talk about LeBron James. Like, he's a great basketball player. But I don't mean to be mean, but I don't really care for him as a basketball player. I hope he brings the Lakers a championship because I know a lot of Laker fans. But he started this new school under his own terms in his hometown, and I thought that was amazing to do. Like a big turning point and everything for a lot of athletes. I think he really opened a lot of people's eyes on like what you should be doing with your investments and stuff. Invest in the future, invest in children. He's doing what we want to do. We want to start our own school and everything. We want to do that too. So hats off to you, LeBron, and I hope you do great things with that, and you have a lot of successful children that come out of that school.
And just because you're I forgot what I was gonna say. I totally blanked. Never mind.
It's okay. He also said that he was going to have longer days and a longer year of school and everything, which, I mean, I look at it as more attention towards the kids is what they actually need and everything. And of course, you're not going to get to every single kid, but the fact that you're trying, everything okay? It's okay.
I forgot.
It's okay. We can just record it again off the microphone. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And so yeah, just like great things are happening because of LeBron and everything, and I hope everybody takes his lead and everything. I also think guys like Colin Kaepernick, who gave his money or whatever, he put millions into teaching kids about the law and getting them out of hard situations by paying for certain things that they need for sports or school or whatever. He's been a real good support for kids, and I'm always all for that, because that's what we ultimately are trying to do. Mm-hmm. So we're going to move on to our personal evolutionary stories. Abby, please enlighten me with your first.
Yeah, since I think this week or this podcast episode is Metamorphosis. So we thought it would be important to talk about our personal evolution as an individual. So for me personally, I guess we're going to be bringing up stories that were pivotal to us in our lives. Mm-hmm. And
life-changing.
Yes, I guess my life story has a lot to do with closing up and learning to blossom again. So for me, as a kid, I had to, at like a fairly young age, I had to learn to be on my own, not just be on my own, but to entertain myself I was an only child. My mom had me when she was really young, so she worked a lot. I spent a lot of time at grandma's, and grandma's always busy, so she doesn't have time to entertain you all the time. So I had to learn how to like kind of play on my own, and for me that was pivotal because I think that's how a lot of my creativity and a lot of the things that I made.
Burned that flame.
Yeah, I had it because I got a lot of time to spend on my own.
Well, metamorphosis is usually done by yourself. The evolution thing, like, and you being by yourself may have felt very lonely, but you're getting ahead of the game.
It did feel very lonely, and I like in high school and stuff, I was like kind of a loner.
Do you think you how do I say this? Do you think you learned how to love yourself on a faster level because of it?
No.
No. Okay.
Definitely not.
Wow. Okay.
No. I think it was more like I just learned how to get my emotions out through artistic means because I had time to watch things by myself and take things in, books, movies, everything, just
and memorize it and everything.
And I learned to love to be by myself. So for me, like my childhood was very much learning to love being alone. But that was how you tell me your childhood.
Okay. One of them, like growing up, I was a softie. Like, even though my brother was very brutal to me, like he was tough with me. We're 10 years apart. He's a 4-time CIF champion and 2-time state. He has a real great resume, and he would come home every single day and practice his moves on me until I cried. Anyways, like I would still be a softie. I was this softie, and playing football, I just did my best. I learned. I was very good at learning it, but like I wouldn't apply the brute strength just yet. Like I was a big fat kid. I overate. And in that division, you had to lose weight and stuff. So I had to be on a diet, all kinds of shit. There was this guy, I'll never forget him, Ricky Juarez, man. If you ever see this, man, hi. Ricky Juarez was a really good football player. His stature was small compared to the rest of us. When we started, we were the same. But when we went, I got bigger and fatter, and he stood little. So mind you, during practices, our fathers were always standing around watching us practice, and it was they're constantly talking about us, it. Like, and little Juarez, he has such an attitude, like he's strong and everything, and he's in my face and he's hitting me, he's punking me, and my all the dads see it. My dad gets embarrassed, and
Beans, right?
Hey, Beans. Look at me, damn it. And then he goes to you, hi, April.
He's like, someone look at me, please.
So back to the story.
Sorry.
No, I just don't want to lose my space. So yeah, going home that night, like I can tell, like I got my ass kicked that day on the field. So going home, if you live by Rivera Park, this was before they had all the cages around it, all the fences and stuff. So we were just walking home. I lived right across the street from the park. Walking home, my dad, I guess out of frustration, like he knows me well enough to know that I can do better. But it came down on he came down on me hard, He
felt like he
needed to ignite a fire. And I mean, like he was hitting me, gut checking me, hitting me in the head, in the face. And, it just got dark, and the next day at practice, I know all my friends, James Gonzalez, Richard Gonzalez, even Ricky Juarez, Robert Garay, a couple friends to name, like Marcos Lara, they all knew and they all saw, like, man, Tamayo's different. Tamayo is he's a lot quiet. Usually he comes and he's happy.
More
and
focused.
And I just was like, yes, I was in my own head, and I was just knocking the crap out of people, like trying to get over that fear. And I hurt my face or hurt my neck or hurt my shoulders, but I still did it. And even if it was a cheap shot, like I was just ignited. And then from there, I was a starting linebacker at the end of that season. And then into next season, they had me practice with them, and I was great. I was ready to go. And that's what I needed. And I was a great football player as a result. So sometimes you need to fire up your ass to get you going.
I think some people definitely do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes
like
it doesn't work for everybody.
Tanya, she talks about that, and the mom's like, oh, she needs to be motivated properly by someone telling her she can't do it. Unfortunately.
I hate Tanya. That's how I looked at it. Okay. You have another story for us?
Yes. So my second one has to do with teaching. So as a teacher for substitute teacher for 13 years, and for me, I really feel like my childhood was spent being closed up and learning to be by myself and learning how to express my emotions. But my young adulthood was spent as a teacher learning how to open up and speak in front of people and lead them on top of it, And for me, teaching was such a huge wonderful experience in my life. I've learned so many things, met so many people.
I'm sure you learn so much by teaching too.
Yeah, way more than I ever learned when I was actually in school.
Not
to say anything bad about my teachers, because I had great teachers, but just how we work. I think we learn better when we teach. Like I said, I learned so many.
You know what? You're right about that, because a lot of when I would train to fight, I would start training kids or training anybody who I can, and it helped with training. It helped me review. It helped me even come up with new things.
Having to be up in front of the class, it also helped me to learn to think on my feet and how to kind of deal with my anxiety a little bit, because every day you have to go up in front of people regardless if you want to or not, and you have to teach and stuff, and it's learning to be prepared and learning to be okay if things don't turn out perfect, which is a big part of every day.
Letting go. I mean, for everybody, I think letting go is it's really hard.
And I had to let go of that older version of myself that wanted to be by myself to be able to help people. Like there's you can't be by yourself and help people at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You have to really integrate yourself in there.
Real quick, no, I just keep going.
That's my.
No, Beans wanted me to talk about Irish nights, and real quick, okay, for you, Beans. When we were like 17, 18, and 19 years old, so we were well in high school. And mind you, before our thing was backyard wrestling, we were fucking crazy with it, and then our egos got too big, and we started to actually fight each other. So every Friday night, of course, we weren't old enough to drink, and my brother would have to get us some beers and everything, and we would get a little tipsy, and every single Friday night we would fight. We would fight each other, and it was for nothing, and it was just every time if you won, you had to do a shot, and you keep going, and it was fun actually. It was the most intense and most fun nights of my life. I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't get drunk and go. I barely get drunk anymore, but that's true, Beans. But yeah. Beans, real quick, remember that time you fought in the backyard on one of those fateful nights, and little AJ, Anthony Monteverdi, elbowed you in that sweet spot, and all kinds of blood was just gushing. I'll see if I can find that video. We'll put it on Instagram. Yes, we do. We need to do that again. Once we get all of our stuff going, we'll have a proper Irish night.
So tell me about now. I told you a little bit of my growing process. Now, what's your how did the second phase of your life? Yeah.
So I was lit on fire for years, like going into football, going into wrestling, MMA, even. Like, I was just a brute, and it worked. Being angry, being a fucking dickhead, I guess, just it worked in the fighting realm. One day, I go to an academy. I don't want to say which one, but I go to this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy, and I'm rough, and I slam one of their blue belts, and I get in trouble. I'm not familiar with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm familiar with Greco-Roman or Sambo or submission wrestling and stuff like that. That's more of my shoot to box. And so I slammed him, and it got a little intense. I basically got kicked out, and they said I will never fight again, and blah 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 blah. So 2 weeks later, I get a fight, and I ask for help. My sister at this time is dating some guy who happens to be cousins with a professional MMA fighter. His name was Sean McCafferty, and I didn't hear the McCafferty part though. I didn't hear that, so I'm looking him up on the internet, and I find all the Seans and all of King of the Cage, and it's Sean. I think it's him, so I pick Sean Loeffler. I look him up. I write to him. I go, "Hey, bro, my sister knows you and knows your cousin. I need help in training." Professional UFC King of the Cage Gladiator Challenge champion, professional fighter, said, yes, come. We got a lot of work to do. We
That's
got a lot of work to do.
awesome.
Didn't ask, didn't question, nothing. Just said, come on, we got a lot of work to do.
That's so cool.
Showed up, and this guy really humbled me. Like, he really, like, I thought I could beat everybody and anybody. Even my trainers, I at least beat once. But this guy, I mean, he beat me from one side of the ring to the next and then back the other way. But, you know, I never stopped. I kept going at him. I thought it was all cool. You know, I was doing southpaw. I'm not even, he was like, you're a right-handed fighter. So I dodge, you know, I act like I'm going to hit him. I shoot in, he backs out. I punch him in the face and I'm smiling. I'm all cocky now. And he's laughing. He's laughing at me. He goes, okay. And then he freaking switch kicks me right in the ribs. Like just, and I thought I was going to poop myself, guys. And then I kind of shook it off. And then I went back after him and he hits me, he docks me right in the forehead, boom, and I go down, and I'm trying to find the floor, and I find it, and I'm still awake, and I go after him, and he's laughing at me, and he goes, man, I don't know what is about you Mexicans, you guys don't know when to quit. And sure enough, he finished it with a straight leg kick, like a push kick to my chest, and I was like, okay, I need a break now. Mind you, Sean Loeffler, big 200-pound Irishman, I'm 155 at the time, and he's a professional, and I felt really put in my place. You know, I was humbled, and getting my ass beat by him day in and day out made me such a much more better fighter.
Why do you think that?
Because it slowed down that, like, I know where the breaking point is now. Like, I'm not gonna act like it's not there, and it makes you last as a fighter. Being a smart and listening to your body, yes. And I don't know, his way of training was just nothing I've ever had before. He was really cool, really nice, he was understanding, and he would explain things. I'm used to the coach from wrestling and football that yells at you in your face, calls you fucking worthless, hits you with his fucking whistle, and steps on your back while you're trying to do push-ups and stuff, like, you know, just to make a point.
Yeah.
But Sean wasn't like that, and by doing so, he made me much more deadlier. It's off? What's he saying? The sign. What about the sign?
Oh, he wants to buy it.
Oh, $30. $30. So someone wanted to buy one of our pieces. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, you know, Sean really, like I said, he humbled me. And when I went, every single fight was easy because of Sean. You know, it was like last maybe 2 rounds at the most. And, you know, Sean Loeffler, man, thank you for humbling me. I really needed that. What happened?
Julie, 155, you're right.
No, 155, is he messing with us? We got a special guest. Do you have $10?
Yeah, you have the change. Sorry, guys.
We're doing some deals.
Woo!
How much? 40.
I think it's 10 back.
There you go. Money. He bought the link thing, you know?
Julian.
All right, guys. First sale of the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, you guys still got time to come out if you want to say hi and everything. We'll give you a free sticker.
An hour. Yeah.
So, so now that we've gone to these pivotal places in our lives where we had to turn so many things around, what's your final story?
Well, our final story is
I was gonna let her say it first, but like, because we came up with the same finalization. Like, for me, a pivotal moment in my life was meeting April and everything that she had to teach me and tell me about this perspective of life and everything it changed, and I feel like it balanced me out so great. There was like a great deal of this warrior that was humbled from being a total dick, you know, and then like just being humbled, and then on top of it being a protector, or, you know, fucking, you know, just a protector of sorts, you know, of the city, a hero.
For me, meeting Anthony came at a very time in my life. Then the person I was living next to, my neighbor, found out that he had cancer and that he didn't have very long to live. And I remember hearing that, thinking like, am I living the life that I want to live? Is this the life? Is this where I want to be with my life? And I remember thinking no. And I met Anthony around that time, and I don't know what it was. Like it felt like a magnetism to one another. Like we needed to be hanging out. We wanted to be talking all the time. Like we just wanted to be around each other. Like I just wanted
to know what was in her head. Like there was so much to her that like I've never heard before, or hear how someone comprehended and put things together. I've never heard things of that, of what she told me, or and not on top of that, on top of all that, like the teacher in her came out to like supportive, and anything I wanted to try was great. You know, even if I questioned it, it was great. It was awesome. And now we're here, we're doing art, we have this collective, and we've evolved.
And we have so much fun. Like I said, once we met him, when I met him too, and things just started to like fall into place really quickly, like boom, 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 boom. And now here we are doing this podcast, doing the art stuff. We have a home gallery.
Yeah.
We do our paintings. I mean, it's just,
and we're meeting great people, networking with them, and like again, the collab and everything.
Yes,
it's a perfect example with Rose.
You should come down if you haven't been here. Come down. It's really cool.
Yeah.
They have a really nice office setup, but it's not just an office space to work. It's a place to meet other people
Network.
like you. Yes, network with people who are trying to create and
just
start
like
stuff. Yes, and so what a great place to meet and talk and learn and work together. So if you haven't come to check it out, please come down and give it a shot.
I like to think of it like what I keep saying is it's like a gym for your career or your mind or whatever, like to come and do some work. You know, you come in here with your supplies, whatever you need, and you get your ass to work. And it's a good, perfect place to do so. They have cubicles, a place for you to eat. It's awesome here, guys.
Yeah, it's
I think you should really check it out if you're trying to start a business or further your career, or just get some college schoolwork out of the way. This is a perfect place to do that. If you're going to invest your money in yourself, you should do that. Like,
I understand, like, college students may not have enough money to be able to rent the space here. They do day deals, day passes and stuff. But like I said, if you're someone who's looking to get into, be part of Whittier and get involved with the small businesses and stuff, this is the place to be. This is the place where people are at, you know, and you're going to meet people and you're going to learn how to do better things too. So
thank you, Beans.
Come out.
Love you too, Big Beans.
Aw.
Oh, in one of the other episodes, one of our delectable collectibles, I make a shout out to you because of the box you bought me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and check that out.
Bye.
Peace out, Beans. So speaking of delectable collectibles, now we can move on. Yeah. Thank you, Beans. So AP.
Yes. No. Let's start with your last major purchase, or the thing that I got you.
Okay. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Okay. AP bought me something really cool, and it was more like a surprise. I had no idea. Like, I kind of just said, I think those are cool.
Well, to be fair, they're not just cool, they're functional, which, you know, you need to get shoes at least once a year. You know?
Yeah.
So.
And then on top of that, my Vans, like the bottoms were flopping out
like
and stuff. So she like really was like, I'm going to buy you some shoes. And she bought me these sweet Avengers
I can't sing the song.
With the Iron Man, like if you can see that right there.
Iron Man, then you got Hulk, you got Thor, Cap.
And then the purple's Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye.
Check out these shoes, y'all. How you guys doing?
Okay, so my delectable collectibles, what I want to show off is actually a gift from Anthony.
Yeah,
so
it's a gift from me too.
He got me these Sandman art cards. So if you don't know by now, I'm a huge Sandman fan. Not the Sandman, Spider-Man Sandman, but Sandman.
Yeah, DC Sandman. He's in a few animated series with the Justice League if you guys want to check him out. But I suggest getting anything written by Neil Gaiman. To him. Oh, well, and they have the new Sandman series coming out too. So there's no excuse not to read some good Sandman, guys.
So we recommend that. Huge Sandman fan, and if you don't know already, I'm a huge art fan. Obviously, we're artists and we pair stuff together. So Anthony decided to get me these really cool art cards. So I'm going to show you a couple here real quick. See here, some of them are covers from issues of Sandman. Some of them are just pictures that are inside of it or characters, and they have little descriptions on the back. They're so cool. There's like 100 of them or more. Cool. And each one of them, like I said, are from Sandman. They're so cool.
Well, we'll post some of these up on our story so you can check them out up close.
But these are super awesome. And Anthony got them for me, which makes them even more awesome. So
cool. Moving on. Okay, so the last things we went ahead and invested a little bit further in Deadpool snippets.
Oh,
Baby Deadpool snippets.
We like our baby Deadpool cartoons. You'll love this.
So the first one I want to show you is we bought a fabrication, and here's the first one. I am Iron Man. Is baby no Iron Baby is what we're gonna call him. So we got Iron Baby, and last but not least, one of my favorite Avengers of all, the mighty Thor. He's not a
Thor.
baby. He's just little. Look at that beard.
A little man.
He's just a little Thor. He just don't call him baby Thor. He'll probably kill you. And so another segue, now that we brought up Thor and everything, we wanted to bring up the Counseling with Comic Book Couples, because we have a writer who comes to us, and it's his father. It's Odin. This is a letter from Odin. And it's surprising because, we're trying to help. Now we're going to help gods in their relationships. Huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what advice we can give him. This is from Odin. I miss my dear wife. I long to see her on the fields of Valhalla. Not a day goes by where I don't think of her in the most intimate of detail. I do my best to always honor her, and I still get nervous thinking about how she'll see me in the next life. All that matters to me is to be one with her again. Until that day, I need to know how to deal with this heartache. I need a full heart to rule this kingdom, and her passing may have taken what's left of it. I turn to you at Good Influence for some advanced mortal advice.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that one's a little hard to read for me because my grandfather's going through that right now. My grandmother just passed away not too long ago, and I go and take care of them. Even before she passed, I would take care of both my grandparents at least a couple times a week. Do whatever they need around the house, give them massages. I'm a certified masseuse, and I would just be there for them. And just having not my grandma there, it's sad and it sucks. And my grandpa has to live there, and he has this. You can just see it on his face. He has like this Tony Montana, I don't give a fuck face, and it just I don't. Time's not on his side, and I know time's not gonna really heal this. So the advice that my parents both gave was two different ones: faith and strength. And of course, both of them were butting heads about which one's more important. But I felt like not one was without the other. You got to have strength to believe, and you got to have the belief that you're strong enough to do it. And they go hand in hand. And one doesn't really work without the other. If you're one of these people that have lost somebody, please know that there's going to be a better life ahead of you. You just got to find it. Is there any advice that you can give, Odin?
For me, I think it's like with any other loss, it's more about, it takes time to let these wounds heal. And it's about not holding on to the emotions, because something that I've learned is that emotions will wash through you, and whatever thoughts you have in your head at the moment, it will attach itself to that emotion and just, exacerbate it. So with something like that, I think it's more about letting the emotions just kind of run through you, but not holding on to them too much, knowing that you're going to miss them, knowing that, I think it's just important to.
A lot of it's a choice too. I mean, of course, you'll never move on if you choose not to, but
I think
choose to live.
It's important too to honor the memory and to do a little something. But I do think at some point it is important to move on for your own sake. I mean, I know we all want that partner that will never have anyone else ever after we pass away, but that's unrealistic, because if you really love that person, you want them to be happy.
Yeah.
You want them, especially if you pass away, you want them to be able to find happiness because you love them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're the one that passing and has a conscious mind to see that your loved one is better off, just to say, don't be too greedy now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit, and let's move into our Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's everybody's favorite. Would you rather?
Okay, so here's my question to you, Anthony.
All right.
Would you rather have the ability to fly, but you can only fly 10 feet high? Or would you rather have super strength, but it's only in your left pinky?
I think I'm too reckless for that pinky one.
I feel like people would just go like, and then,
Yeah, or like if okay, it means that my pinky's the only thing that's strong. Like, what if I get in a scruffle and like I dig my pinky into their
shoot.
and it just breaks their
Their
skull?
whole brains everywhere.
I think I would like to fly 10 feet and say I jumped. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would just be dunking on people and be like, yeah, this is just how high I jump. And then I'll just be like Spider-Man.
I think I would pick flying too because I honestly like I'm scared of heights, so I'm a little bit scared of getting that high flying. But if
Just getting
flying 10
lifted.
feet, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too bad. It's something I can. All right, I'm close enough, you know.
Well, you know, we're surrounded by bars here. You know, like I just can't help but think of who would you rather have as a wingman in such a place like this? Like, I gotta ask you, AP, like, who would you want like to go to this bar with so you could pick up hot dudes
Well,
or women?
I think if I had to pick anybody in the like storybook realm or like, you know, not storybook, but just character realm, I am going to go with Veronica Lodge.
Veronica
And
Lodge
I'll
from
tell you why.
Riverdale.
From Riverdale. Yes,
Okay.
the Riverdale Veronica Lodge, not the Archie comics particularly, because the Riverdale Veronica is awesome, man. She's got Betty's back. Like, she's best friend. She makes sure that, you
So
know,
far
she's
in this
always
season.
there. Yeah. And in the seasons that I've seen, like, she's just a good friend. Like, she didn't start dating Archie until she's like, okay, is it cool? You know, like, she wasn't trying to steal him or anything. She was trying to, I think she'd be a good, like, she wouldn't get in the way, but she'd also try to help you and she'd
I
make you look
see.
good.
She's
you
just
know?
like that really go beyond, above and beyond friend.
Yes, yeah.
I
That's
see.
what I think. That's who I'd pick. What about you?
I think my wingman would be Baby Groot. Just
Why
'cause
Baby
he's
Groot?
so cute and like he you know, you don't have to buy him drinks or anything. He's not
Yes,
gonna get
that's true.
drunk. You don't have to you might have to maybe take care of him, but he's gonna be pulling chicks for you left and right.
Yeah.
And who's to know? Maybe he can grow a little joint for you or something like it.
Already rolled
It's
it.
like I'll smoke it with her, you know.
That's funny.
So did you sell something else with her?
I don't know. I'll find out afterwards. But did you see Beans wrote in his answer?
Tony Stark.
I feel
Let's
though
get
like
on.
with something like Tony Stark, he would like steal the
The
show,
women,
though.
yeah. Like,
he's
you want to
too-
believe that's what I was gonna say Gambit at one point, but I was like, wait a minute, this dude would take all the women, you know?
Yeah, I think so too.
Tony Stark,
for
you
sure.
know, yeah.
he's such
But
a
at least
playboy.
he's such a billionaire that you'll be in a cool place where you could just either pick up on more women
I-
or just
maybe
play with
he
this
would
Iron
help you
Man suit.
pull more women in because he's so used to having women, you know.
Yeah, but I just think like he's gonna bang him and you're just gonna be sitting outside his apartment, you know?
Listening to it all.
Like, fuck it, man. Tony Stark stole my
It's funny.
date.
It's hilarious.
Okay. Now
Okay.
we gotta move on to the next page. Okay, cool. This is gonna be a good one. Characters that overcome growing pains. You know, that's a good one. Do you have any like youngsters right off the bat? Let's see. No worries, I'll take the scraps. That's a frank answer.
Okay, so talking about characters that have overcome growing pains, talking about Metamorphosis,
Mhm.
we wanted to just talk about some of our favorite characters that had really good character development, or we saw that had to overcome something.
Mhm.
So we're going to start with people in younger phases of their life. So for me, I have two specifically that were important to me. And if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, I know it's kind of old now. It's not really on anything. I tried finding it on Netflix, Hulu. It's not on anything. But Avatar: The Last Airbender was an animated show, and man, it was this kid. He was so funny, and he was lighthearted. He was like a young like monk almost, you know. And it showed him becoming a leader. He had to become a leader, but he had to overcome all these things, and he's just a kid, you know.
Mhm.
Like, he doesn't know. He's taking on all these big emotions and all these big things, and
Yeah.
he's just a kid.
And doesn't he have like mythical out of this realm powers?
Yes,
and shit?
he does
So
have powers on top of that he's learning to control. So
that's
I
hard
really
for any
love-
superhero kid, you know, like
Yeah.
just through and through. Like, fuck, man, like it's already tough enough to be a kid.
you'll
Mhm.
love it because it's like it shows him learning that you see that great people don't always start as these great people. They have to grow and fight to become them. Speaking of which, my favorite book of all time is Ender's Game, and that's another one about a kid who is put in this great, powerful position, but is just a kid and still is learning how to be there and deal with emotions. Do you have any youngsters?
If you're a Game of Thrones fan, I would say Arya Stark. She's a very like evolved character within a couple seasons where she was like forced to change. And you see this little girl, you would never think that she's going to be one of the most deadlier characters in all of the show.
Even
And
though she's a tomboy, even though
yeah,
she's at the beginning, you don't
to
think that.
me, she took a similar route, or like a very familiar route that I noticed. Like she started with ambition, and then it turned to anger, and then she got humbled.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And now she's this balanced character of rage and focus and warriorism. Is that a word?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Warriorism? And yeah, I think she's a great like character as far as an evolutionary character, like how far she's come. Um, I have another character, but not not so much of the adolescent, or more of the adult, like going into the older adult, I guess. Like for me, I was playing God of War maybe about at 18 years old, and God of War really for me transitioned at, like, it was watching me change as well. You know, he got the beard, and he had something that he had to take care of eventually, which was his son. You know, and he became more understanding. He wasn't so narrow minded. He wasn't quick to kill so many things to make an impression on his son. You know, and I think Kratos comes a long way from being a ruthless god to an honorable father. You know what I mean? And that meant more to him. And I was like, cool, that's fucking awesome. That puts you. There's a reason why he puts man on the living same level playing field as the gods, and that's what I love about Kratos. He's just this ever evolving character. You know. How about you? Do you have anyone else?
Anyone in that, for me, like in that, like adult coming into adulthood, I think of Leslie Knope. Leslie Knope, you know, she was just this like
That's a good one.
dopey character to begin with. Like she was just very like kind of, you know, didn't have any confidence in herself, but had a lot of ambition.
Yeah.
So for me,
like she wasn't going to be turned away, silenced, or told
yes,
no.
even though
I mean?
she was goofy and dorky, and that's why I think I love her so much, because she really evolved to become a really awesome person, an awesome leader. You know.
Yeah, coming from Parks and Rec to fucking mayor,
Yes.
right? Like
yeah.
that was like trying, or you know,
Or,
trying to
yeah,
be.
yeah, uh-huh.
You know,
Or
I don't want
she
to ruin
tried
the
be
show
not
for
mayor,
anybody,
not
but
mayor, but she tried to be like in the
Senate
bigger
or
something,
some
I
kind
don't
of
remember
council,
exactly.
or okay. I mean, but like yeah, her ambition matches her personality.
Yeah.
It's just big and
Yeah.
sparkly. I love Leslie Knope, man.
I
I
know,
love
she's
and her teaming up with Ron Swanson is a freaking unbeatable team.
Yes, yeah.
One that we can both agree on, that we see as an evolutionary character. See, these are degrees. You know, the degree of the youngster over, like, you know,
So
figuring
we're
it
down
out,
there,
you
yeah,
know,
they're
and then you
both
got the older, you know, more wiser and
coming
trying.
into their adulthood.
Yeah, and then now we want to talk about, like, once you're old and established, you're still gonna
It's
evolve.
funny. I think like a lot of older people think that once they get to an older age, that everything's just gonna be normal.
Stagnant, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And
But
plateau.
we love a show that says differently, which
Yeah.
is, what's the show?
Metamorphosis.
No. What's the?
Oh, I was like, this show is Metamorphosis. The show that we watch is Grace and Frankie. If you guys ever watched that show, it's so good. They did some filming over there at Smith Park in Pico Rivera. But Grace and Frankie, what an awesome show. I mean, like two totally different opposite people becoming best of friends. Like they
But the evolution that they have to overcome is that they find out that their husbands, at the very beginning of the show, so we're not ruining anything. They
Yeah,
find out
explain
that
it.
their
Yeah, just
husbands are having an affair together, and that they've been gay a lot of their marriage.
like 30
So,
years or something like that, you know?
So
And they've been faking this marriage.
Here they thought they were just going to run out the rest of their life with their husbands and do whatever they've been doing.
They
and
thought they were
now
going to
their
retire.
Whole life,
Yeah.
their whole life has changed, and they have to start over
They
at
have
you know
kids and
in
shit.
their 60s. So I think it just goes to show that people, you can evolve and change at any and every time, and you have to constantly be willing to let go of what you think you are to grow.
Yeah. I mean, because like there's a lot of people, like I used to work in LA, and there's a lot of 6-year-old men there saying like, hey, I'm 60 years old. There's no reason for me to change now. And it's like, well, if life forced you to, you would. You know, like Grace and Frankie had to. They were stagnant. They thought nothing was going to change. And then boom, now you got to live life again. Now you got to figure out how to fucking be you. It's not a young or old thing. It's life. You got to take part in it, you know? It doesn't stop for anybody.
Okay. So the basic idea of the episode that we wanted to get across was evolving is going to be difficult at no matter what age, no matter what stage of life you're in. Evolution, personal evolution is difficult, but it's so enjoyable. Honestly, like I know it feels gross to change and you don't feel comfortable and it's difficult, but if you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah, once you shed that skin, man.
you have to be able to let go of that old version of yourself in order for the new to make space for the new version.
Exactly.
Don't go back to old ways or old habits. Keep pushing through, because eventually those are going to be your new habits, and they're going to be better habits for you, and they're going to make bigger changes in your life. So like one of my favorite quotes is by Teddy Roosevelt, and it's something along the lines of, believe in yourself and you're halfway there. So,
Mhm.
Keep
That's
trying,
good advice
keep
right there.
going. Yeah. Um, yeah.
That's perfect. I want to go on to EI recommends. I just want to talk about my review for Spider-Man real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, so earlier in the week, I had given a live podcast about, or a live of video of what I thought about Spider-Man, and I want to say it's a fantastic game. It's so fun. It's so enjoyable. Everything you want Spider-Man to do, he does and does it better. One of the best, how do I say? One of the best descriptions I heard about it was that like he's a lot like like he lost his powers, was trained by Iron Fist, and then got his powers back, went out there, and it's true. Like he is skilled. He is an awesome fighter. Um, Graphics could use a lot more better work. Like there's a lot of glitches, there's a lot of like just terrible graphics and stuff like that, and the character interaction is a little bit rough sometimes. One thing that did slow down the game was that you're doing all this crazy web shit. You're Spider-Man. You're saving people at last seconds, and then it slows down, and you're Mary Jane trying to sneak around a fucking building. You can't really move all that well, and it slows down the game for me. I didn't really like it. They did the same thing with Miles Morales. That was my one thing about the game that I did not like. But now that I'm way past that, I am having so much fun with that game. I am putting mad hours in. It is it's a great game. You guys should get it, and let me know what you guys think about it when you do. How about you, EP? You got anything
So
else?
my recommendation, I mentioned it earlier, would be for Ender's Game. I've read it like 5 or 6 times, and it's such a fantastic book. If you're like me, one of my favorite things about that book was so Ender is this. It takes place in the future. Ender's this boy who's really smart, and he's going to like this military type academy for young boys and young girls, and he's really smart. But it's not just that he's smart. He's also really sensitive and really perceptive. So he ends up being the leader for a lot of the. He ends up being a leader for certain groups. Now, a lot of the times in the book, he ends up going into his bunk and he cries and he sobs silently because he doesn't want the boys to hear him and make fun of him or pick on him, because they're already picking on him because he's ahead of everyone. Um, so I love Ender's Game. It just shows that even the strongest people are really sensitive and have sensitivities, even if they don't show it. They have it, and we should be aware of those. But yeah, that's my.
Okay, great recommendations, guys. Go check them out. So this week as always, we're gonna finish with our fantastical fan favorite, which is
Enter
Rumble. We got two. As usual, we got two fighters going at it today. We got the Berserker Wolverine versus the main man Lobo from DC. Now, let me just start with. We'll start with Wolverine. Wolverine. Now he's known for his awesome healing factor, his ability, like his adamantium metal that's indestructible. This guy has been close to the sun and is able to heal. This guy was able to heal with no organs or a brain. He was a pure skeleton, and he was still able to heal from that. He's been proven to be faster than Captain America and he competes with Spider-Man on speed. His strength is very, like, it's up there. Like he's able to go toe to toe with the Hulk. Um, like he's on par with him, and that says a lot about a guy who's only 5'6" in the comics, 5'4", 300 pounds of adamantium just whooping your ass, and he's a berserker. Let's see what other. I mean, like he's beating a guy who manipulates metal, and he's.
So tell me, who do you think would win?
Well, let me get into Lobo then.
Okay.
Lobo. Now, this is a guy who I thoroughly enjoy this guy. And I got to say, even as a Marvel fan, this for me isn't an easy choice. Lobo also can't die. Though they say he has died before, but he went to heaven or he went to hell. They kicked him out of hell. Then he went to heaven. Heaven was not about to have him. So by default, he's an immortal. So he can't really die anymore. And this is a guy who got an entire planet, smashed it, and ate it. This is a guy who is on par with Superman as far as speed and stamina and strength. Kind of like how Wolverine is with the Hulk. Um, the main man is an intergalactic bounty hunter, so he can find anybody in the galaxy. He speaks over 17 million languages all throughout the galaxy and everything. And this guy's badass. He's so badass that he has a Green Lantern ring just hanging over his neck because he don't really need it. He's a really badass dude. But see, like Wolverine, man, like that dude he's taken down a lot of the gods himself. Just by hearing that information, AP, what do you think?
Okay. I want to know. What do you think? Do you think one has an advantage over the other?
I think it's adaptable. It's a slight adaptable advantage. Like Lobo can go into outer space and breathe just fine. Wolverine would go into outer space, kind of had a hard time breathing, but then he'd be fine.
I see, because he can die anyways, right? So
Yeah, he just adapts. So it's I think if Wolverine traveled the universe, he would have adapted to it too. But Lobo, that's his role. He's also the one thing I left out about Lobo is for a science project, he destroyed his whole planet. He gave himself an A. See, like Lobo's a funny dude. Like he's a very enjoyable character and everything. He doesn't really fight for the right thing other than dolphins. Like he has a thing for dolphins. He's avenged dolphins. He's protected dolphins and killed for dolphins. So I don't know. I think compassion can go a long way too, but each of them have their own version of it. I personally me, I don't have a winner. I don't know who would win this fight, which is why I thought if I brought up all this information, we can get a winner. If anybody who's listening, please give us an answer. Who do you think would win? AP, who do you have so far in your head?
I think Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think combatant wise, he's a lot faster. He's a lot faster, and
But honestly, I think it would be a stalemate because they seem like really formidable. But if I have to give an answer, I'm going to say Wolverine.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say Wolverine too because I've seen Lobo get knocked out and stay knocked out, like just to render him, just to neutralize him. I've seen it happen before. He gets up, he's fine. So it's not the case of who can kill who. It's about who can stop who. Mm-hmm. And I've seen what's his name take shots from the Hulk and stay awake, because of his healing factor. He's just when it comes to the Hulk, like he was just being smashed by the Hulk and he got right back up and didn't knock out. So I think when it comes to that, I think Wolverine would probably end up winning. But hey, if you guys got some Lobo stuff, I'm definitely gonna go get some Lobo comics and see if I can find any holes in Wolverine's game. So, in closing, just want to talk about the training that I have over here at the Ludus. Hit us up on Echoed Influence or hit me up at 109 BC_Spartacus, where we could get something together and we'll have a schedule so we can start training you. It's $25 a month. It's donation, so you don't have to pay it in full or not at all if you can't. I'm very cool. I'm very understanding. You'll be around a bunch of like-minded people who are trying to learn how to protect themselves and protect others. Be on the lookout for more Baby Deadpool snippets. We got a few more coming your way, so be on the lookout for that. And AP, do you have anything you want to do a shout out to?
Yeah, I just recently started up my Young Mystic tarot page on Instagram. So Young Mystic JUNG, which is like Carl Jung, one of my favorite psychologists, because he was really into astrology and things like that. And that goes to show my psychology influence into my spirituality. So if you haven't followed me, follow me on Instagram on Young Mystic to see my card of the day, or to get my to see my sun moon mandalas, which are personalized mandalas that are meant for meditation or decoration. Just to kind of help. For me, I use mine as a tool to kind of help see my best self. When I make them, I put the energy I put into them. I was a teacher, so a lot of the energy is very supportive. I like to see the best version of that person through their birth chart, and then kind of make something that reflects that. So that way, when you meditate, you're always meditating on your best self and always reaching for that best self. And like I said, go check them out on my Instagram. There's a few of them up there, and they're really awesome. And other than that, we're going to be doing a workshop soon where I will be doing a tarot workshop and yoga for stress relief.
Nice.
So look out for that as well.
And I'll be doing MMA and spray painting.
Mhm.
So I may be on the lookout for that.
And one last time, we want to say thank you to the Collab Incorporated for having us out here again. We are always happy to be out here. And like I said, if you haven't checked it out,
Yeah,
you have
check
to
it out
come
online. I guarantee you guys won't be disappointed. If you're into the like getting work done, getting your career started, getting a head start in school, the Collab Incorporated is the place to be.
They have all kinds of deals too. If you look online, they have all kinds of like deals. Like I think Friday you can bring in a person with you to work. So I mean, there are plenty of opportunities for you to come and check it out.
Yeah, especially if you're having trouble finding a workspace.
Yeah, not just that. Working around people that want to work too. I think that's the important part.
Networking here is a huge deal.
Yeah.
So yes, and then thank you, Rose. Thank you everybody at the Collab Incorporated who's helped
Marilyn
us.
for having us out here for the art stroll as well.
Thank you everybody.
And thank you guys for bearing with us with all these different styles that we've been trying, and we're just trying to find the best way to bring it to you guys. So thank you for joining us for our season 2
it's
premiere.
evolution, guys. You know, we're trying to present it to you in the best possible way, and be on the lookout for more versions of our podcast like this. Okay, and communicate with us. Let us know what you guys like overall,
and subscribe.
Yes, subscribe, like, follow, all the good stuff. Love us.
So you don't miss an episode of
one of our students.
So you don't miss an episode of Baby Deadpool either. That you're not going to want to miss Baby Deadpool.
That's a really good little snippet thing. And the more views we get, the more snippets we'll do.
Yes.
Okay, guys. And now that we got 2 new characters for the Baby Deadpool snippets and stuff, so we'll see what we come up with. All right, guys. Other than that, I'm good to go. And thank you guys for joining with us. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for all the love.
We love you guys back.
And we'll see you next time, next week, guys. Peace.
All right, ending.